What's up, y'all? We are going to get into June of 2002, right? June of 2002's Super Streets magazine. Back then, I remember if it wasn't cool on the cover, you didn't want to read it, right? But now that we miss the old times, we're kind of looking back at it, right? And that's me. I miss the way things were back then, even though at the time it didn't seem like relevant, right? I had cars that I liked, cars that I didn't, cars that I hated, cars that I loved. That was the way it was for everybody. But as you grow older, you kind of learn that no matter what somebody has, you have to appreciate the build, um, and what they like, right? It's just being supportive and just being a good community member, right? So, yeah, you live and learn. But here we are, Super Street, Weird Science. We're going to get into Japan's top drifters, right? We've got that Sylvia up top. Yes, sir. All right. 730 horsepower Skyline powered. Wow, I just read that all wrong. 730 horsepower Skyline powered top secret Supra, right? Supras, Supras, right? I think everybody knows enough about Supras, but we're going to look into this one, right, and see what the deal was on this one, right? So this is a top secret. Looks like 2001. Uh, we'll get into that a little bit, but top secret, top secret. What else? Integra Type R Racer, engine parts buyer's guide, swaps galore from mild to wild, variable valve timing, not just VTEC anymore, right? So we got VVT and coming up against VTEC. We'll kind of read into these articles as well, right? So I cannot do these videos, right, with it being like less than an hour long. Like, well, this is like a discussion. So if you're watching these videos, this is basically how it is, right? Uh, I hate that we can't go over these, right? Because I like to do this in one shot. I just like to look at the builds, kind of go over them, and go back in time, right? So we'll just get straight into it. We're gonna find the table of contents, right, in these magazines, and if you've seen the previous episodes, they're basically the same ads uh, in this. So Andy's Auto Sport, that was a huge place to buy a lot of stuff, right? And guess what? They are still trucking today, right? So you can go here, you can get exterior, interior, lights, performance, suspension, brakes, drivetrain, wheels, uh, yeah, the exhaust seats, lights, headlights, carbon fiber hoods, body kits. It's all there, right? So go here, check it out. They've always been a source of parts to this day, so they're still trucking. All right, here we go. The featured section, top secret 730 horsepower Supra. We're going to go over a Signal Auto Integra Type R, uh, 94 Integra, 98 Accord, and a supercharged S2000. So here are the builds. Got the top secret Integra Type R, the 94 Integra, the Accord, and your S2K. All right, so jumping straight to it, let's do it. All right, Heart of Gold. Holy shit, it's top secret 730 horsepower Skyline powered Supra. Skyline powered Supra. What makes it Skyline powered? All right. They have dropped an RB26 DE TT, the soul of an R34 Skyline, into a Toyota Supra. All right. Why? We don't know, but we're going to get into it. So let me look into this a little bit. So we all know the gold 200 mile per hour GT 300 Supra, right, from September 2001. So we haven't gone over 2001 because they don't have them posted. So if you have these magazines, uh, you can send them to me, and I will return them to you after we basically go over it. Right? I'll take pictures of it, and I will upload it, and I'll just mail it back to you. Or you can send pictures of it just like they have in this magazine. Uh, but that's if you want to, because there's a lot of pages, right? Nobody wants to do that, but I will do the work, right? Just to give the community something to go back on and document purposes. But you let me know. My email's in the bio, so we can go over that. But basically, anything past 2002, they stopped or they did not have a digital copy, unless there's a digital copy somewhere, right? I don't know yet, but um, let's read about this and kind of look at what we got here. So, top secret 2001 performance engineering service. Again, you got all the advertisements on the lower valance or valance side skirt, Ray's Engineering, Ogura Racing, Takata, Brembo, Yokohama. Um, let's see, carbon fiber mirrors. Look at that. So in the right-hand drive Supras, they had an extra glove box. So you have one down here, and you also have one up here. Some were capped off. Well, hold on. Is this a right-hand drive? Or is this a left-hand drive? I think it's a right-hand drive. If it's a right-hand drive, basically they had an extra glove box up here, but I don't see any handles, so I'm kind of thinking this is a left-hand drive. Um, so this airbag, well, it was an airbag, right? It was just the cover. On the right-hand drive, Japanese versions, they had a glove box up here that has a handle and it pops up, and you got an extra space. So you have a glove box down here and a glove box up here. But it looks like they took the airbag out of the system, right, and put a uh, either radio and something in here. Um, the raised GTC wheels and Brembo brakes. Nothing wrong with a gold touch on cars. All right, got the air intake hole. Uh, looks like carbon fiber hood. You name it. Hood latch pins. The spoiler. This is wild. Like the design of this spoiler is wild. Like the rear diffuser. All sorts of stuff. So the previous 2001 version of the top secret Supra, 970 horsepower, 0 to 300 kilometers or 186 fastest. Uh, yeah, right hand drive. This is the Japanese version. Uh, I think some Japanese versions didn't have this glove box here. I think I gotta look. Let's see. Let's see what they get into. You might notice that this car isn't clothed in the traditional top secret gold. That's because the gold is under the hood. Gracing the RB26 DETT, right? Internals have been upgraded. Big surprise there. With HKS forged pistons and heavy duty valve springs. And the head has been ported and polished, of course. No RB26 can break into. So the RB26, if it's anything like the let me check something here. I think um, So the twin turbo models, they have a obviously your GTE piston, but then you have the rods that are really thick, right? And a lot of people use stock rods on the twin turbo models of the Supra or the 2JZ. That's why it's GTE, right? The turbo models. But the rods on a non-turbo were like very, very skinny rods. Super, super skinny rods. I won't get into all that, but I'm not sure if this engine has the same. Let's see. Let's go straight. The RB26DE TT engine is a 2.6 liter twin turbo inline six engine, manufactured by Nissan for use in the 1989 to 2002 GTRs. The engine block is made from cast iron, while the cylinder head is made from aluminum alloy, which contains DOC, or I just call them DOC 4 valves per cylinder, 24 valves in total. The intake of the RB26 varies from the RB series motors in that it has 6 individual 3 sets of 2 throttle assemblies that are Siamesed together. 3 sets of 2 throttle assemblies instead of a single throttle body. The engine also uses a parallel twin turbo system using a pair of T25 type ceramic turbochargers set by the wastegates to limit boost pressure to 10 psi. Although the Skyline GTR has a built-in boost restrictor to keep boost under 14 psi. So that's what you get stock. Not bad, right? The first 2.6 RB26 was rated by Nissan at around 276 horsepower. Let's see, around 4,400. By the end of the production, power levels had gone up to around 320 at 6,800 RPMs. Let's see. Not only because of developments and modifications of to the engine, but also because of the gentleman's agreement made between automakers at the time to limit the advertised horsepower of any vehicles to 280 PS. While the published figures from Nissan were as quoted above, it has been known among enthusiasts that the car actually had a factory output closer to the 320 PS or 316, right? So they're saying, right? They are saying that where do they put it? Nissan rated them at 276 because of a gentleman's agreement that would limit the advertised horsepower. Why would they do that? Right? But in actuality, you're looking at 316. That's a huge jump. I mean, the RB26 is widely known and became quite popular for its strength and power potential thanks to its iron block and forged internals, making it a modification-friendly platform for tuners and aftermarket modifications in general. Right? So, 6 throttle body intake, solid lifter valve actuation, shims under bucket, belt-driven cams, crank angle sensor, driven off exhaust cam, tells ECU crank cam position, water-cooled oil pressure lubed turbos. So water-cooled and oil pressure lubed. OEM cast pistons have cooling channels under the crowns, extra oil cooling to keep piston temperatures down. Piston oil squirters, sodium-filled exhaust valves, 8 counter-weighted crankshaft, and I-beam connecting rods. So there is a common oiling problem with the pre-1992 R32 RB26 motors. Blah, 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 the crankshaft meets the oil pump was machined too small, eventually leading to oil pump failure. So a lot of stuff. You can just go look at that, but we're going to get into this build right here. But there's your RB26 basic specs. So, yeah, great tuning platform. It's just freaking amazing. All right. N1 turbos and well, two N1 turbos and a top secret intercooler kit, Blitz 1000cc injectors. All right, so now we've got something more than the 400 or 500 cc injectors on these previous builds. This guy went with 1000 and an HKS FCON V Pro ensure that there is plenty of fuel to match the larger turbos. The more air you suck, the more gas you gonna need, right? So while Top Secret tells us the Supra isn't for sale, they do add that if someone wanted to buy it badly enough, they would consider selling it. So you just might want to get that extra paper route this summer. Even if you flip burgers for 50 years, at the very best, you'd maybe be able to buy the OS Jekin twin plate clutch or the Cusco differential. Okay, let's see. Fortunately, Top Secret didn't let us drive the Supra, which was probably a wise choice since we would have rammed it into a gravel embankment the first chance we got. Just looking at these pictures here. So you got this, the classic Supra dash. Man, they just went custom on this one. Like, this is nowhere near the dash, right? So they blocked it off and they made their own. They're probably going to mention that. And I got bit by a mosquito on my dang wrist. Dang. Itchy as hell. Anyways. Let's see. All right. The RB26. Look at all these pipes. Pipes running everywhere. Everywhere. So, according to Top Secret, this car was built because the company wanted to match the good aerodynamics body Supra and good performance engine, especially at the high rev RB26. We're not sure what it means either, but we like the results, right? So, yeah. Personally, I would have kept it, OG Supra internals, built it, but you want to call it Top Secret, you just keep your parts a secret. But that's what they did, right? So, in a span of 30 seconds, I managed to go through puberty. That's twice now, and counting. Yes, I became a man, but I was in the presence of worthy company. Behind the Top Secret steering wheel sits a stack something, giving a digital readout on all the vital stats, and housed in a silver center dashed console is a vibrant HKS camp system. As I emerged from the Recaro seat, a full beard now grown to my knees, I proclaimed in a deep baritone, "That's tight, dog." Right, so HKS camp system. What the fuck is that? All right, so it's basically a readout. It's a replacement. This Camp 2 is a replacement to the original Camp. The unit enables monitoring of up to 24 data signals: speed, rev, water, correct, learn, ignition, speed, rev, water, right? So it looks like this system is just a readout of all your vitals, right? Pretty cool. Providing more information to the drive than ever available before. The HKS Camp 2 plugs into your AV monitor using standard AV cables, yet yellow, red, and white. Dang, that's old. Ability to monitor up to 24 data signals. This is all you need, guys. And view up to 6 on one screen. There you go. You don't have to do those gauge pods on your A-pillars anymore. Fuel consumption, cost, enabling more efficient driving. Signals can be sourced from any modern vehicle. OBD2 port and optional HKS sensors. Remote control provided with the unit, so you can switch between, and requires a video screen. All right, so you need a video screen with this setup. So when you had to buy this, you got to get the video screen and you're connected. Right, so that's what we saw in the previous pictures. A lot going on with this build, man. This thing is all over. This is like 7 freaking pages of stuff. Um, just check out the top secret Super G-Force Type 3 body kit. So a Super G-Force Type 3 body kit, the vented Pro Aero carbon fiber hood, and the gap tooth ram air. Why? Just the rear GT wing 2 wing itself will probably keep style biters busy for years to come, right? So it flows, right? That it just flows. I love the lines of the Super. Can't go wrong with those. And just this whole build is clean. I like it. Not just because it's a Supra, but the thought behind it is it's working, right? It's working. So what do you do? So what do you call this top secret creation? A Superline? A Skyra? How about fucking fast? Let's just call it that, right? Either way, we had to be forced onto a flight back to the U.S. after our tourist visas ran out. Japanese immigration found us living in an alley behind a noodle shop. While you're not going to see many RB26 injected Supra stateside, at least with top secret in business, the next greatest super tune legend will be just a plane flight away. Guys, go get your ass on a plane to Japan. I can't stress it enough. Like, it is absolutely wonderful. You see these cars driving around at night. You hear them at night, right? They come out at night. They go to the car shows on Sundays. They have a car show. Daikoku that you can go to. It just, holy macaroni, tuner heaven. And I kid you not, it is a whole different vibe in Japan. Like, that is true JDM. You feel a certain way over there. Like, yeah, we do it over here, right? We have hot import nights. We have import tuner meets and stuff like that here, but over there, they live, they breathe, they eat, they sleep, they everything. If they are the car guy, they are on it. Like, and it blows my mind. Like, when you're looking at this, you were just like in a candy store, like a kid, or like when your parents took you to Toys R Us and you were in the action figure aisle looking at Ninja Turtles. You know, and that's why I have a Ninja Turtle collection. I got a big ass Ninja Turtle collection from back in the day. That's another story. But in Japan, holy crap, right? So when I went to Japan, I bought a whole bunch of like their version of Hot Wheels cars, like all these JDM tuner cars. I bought like 10 of them by Tomica. So when you go to Japan, take an extra empty suitcase or an empty bag. So take a big one, right? Because you're going to want model cars. You're going to see these cool things that you just can't get over here, right? And they're different. Everything's different over there. So take an extra suitcase. I promise you, you're going to love it, right? I didn't take an extra suitcase, so I was playing Jenga in my backpack with all the toys that I got. And I even had a steering wheel because I bought a damn steering wheel for my Supra. Up Garage. Go to Up Garage. You know, I'm going to make a video on Japan. I should make a video on Japan. Just give y'all some heads up. But it's not that bad going there, guys. It's not that bad, like price-wise. You'll be surprised, right? So you and a buddy need to plan it and go. You're going to absolutely love it. So, fast facts. Top secret Japan is the owner. A JZA80 Toyota Supra. Chiba, right? Hometown, Chiba. You might find this in Chiba. RB26 DETT. HKS 87 millimeter forged pistons, a truss H-beam connecting rods, knife edged and balanced crankshaft, top secret special cylinder head treatment. Cylinder head treatment that could be, you know, ported, polished, or you name it, whatever they do, deck it. Heavy duty gasket and 90 millimeter. So the heavy duty gasket, they have these thicker ones that really like seal the shit out of a head. Wow, I just went to the next build, didn't I? Anyway, I hit the wrong key. 90 millimeter titanium pro muffler, HKS cams, 264 degree intake, 272 degree exhaust, and heavy duty valve springs. N1 modified turbos, two of them, right? So they kept it twin turbo with top secret original piping and intercooler kit. A lot of people go single turbo. They don't like the sequential. Well, I wouldn't say they don't like it, but they go away from sequential twin turbos, right? Because one kicks on, and then at one set of RPMs, and the other one kicks on another set of RPMs. Either way, a lot of people go to single just because it's just single. Looks good either way. Let's see. Trust oil cooler, Blitz 1000cc injectors, 6 of them, HKS FCon V Pro, and OS Jigen twin plate clutch and Cusco limited slip differential. This guy went with some heavy duty ball players with this one. Super damper suspension kit with modified Öhlins dampers. Here are the rates: 1,558 pounds in the front and 1,008 in the rear. He's sitting on 18 by 10 Volk Racing GTC wheels, 245 45 18s in the front and 285 30 18s in the rear. Yokohama Advance with Brembo F50 calipers with 355 millimeter rotors. This ain't a bad build, man. They spent some money on this one. Top Secret Super G-Force Type 3 front bumper, right? So Top Secret had this mold made with them. That's their deal. Top Type 3 front bumper, side skirts, Pro Vortex generator rear diffuser, GT Wing 2 rear wing, and Pro Aero carbon fiber hood. Sitting in Recaro seats, Takata harnesses, Top Secret original steering wheel, stack dash logger system, and HKS 60mm boost and EGT gauges and camp system, which we went over. So a lot of this stuff wasn't like they show the car. Why am I zooming in so much? They show the car, but they don't go into like crazy details, right? Like if it was the build of the year, these articles would probably be a little longer, or it'd be featured in a different magazine. But either way, nice build there. Nice build. All right. So, N1 Enduro Series with its Kamikaze Integra Type R. What is going on here? What is going on here? The typical graphics on the, or your advertisers on the side skirt. We got a spoiler, hood latch pins sitting on, I don't know what those wheels are. I think I have an idea, but I don't know. All right, let's get into it. What is going on with this one? A lot of useless puns in these articles. Sorry to the writer. I know you tried your best. Try to find where it gets into the car so we can kind of explain this. The president of Signal Auto. Signal Auto became the Japanese tuning version of Cinderella, except with Nomex. Nomex. I haven't heard that name in fucking forever. God, so much stuff that was lost in the past. Come on, get into the car. Bronze Beauty Signal's Kamikaze Integra Type R was built to comply with the Class 4 specs of the N1 Enduro. See sidebar. Ooh, what we got going on here? What is going on? What is happening in the rear of this Integra? It's appropriate that our surfing shutterbug Wes Holland shot the Signal DC5 at the Izanagi Temple in Osaka, Japan, because this car looks as if it were blessed by the gods. Signal Signature Motorsports livery has traditionally been in orange pearl, which can best be described as a pleasing peachy blend. But this Honda Integra, which we in the US know as the Acura RSX, I like Integra better, is one of the first signal speedsters to be swathed in this copper hue. In signal speak, this new color is called candy orange, which is different from signal peaches colored orange pearl. While that's a whole lot of orange, you can't help but love the new color. But before the car hit the spray booth, a Rando Sport Aero kit was added. Never heard of that. Rando Sport Aero kit. Other exterior touches include Signal's carbon fiber hood, GT wing, and GT mirrors. Okay, so GT wing, GT mirrors, they kind of go together, right? So GT wing, GT, if you're going to do something, make it look uniform, right? And if it looks uniform because you bought the same products, it looks like a nice build. Whoa. Bruh. Look, bruh. A two-wheel drive car with a 2000cc or smaller power plant can come to the party, but tuning is severely limited. Car prep factors heavily here. According to the N1 specs, Signal was allowed to balance and blueprint the K20A engine or K20A using only stock components. To get the most out of the factory 6-speed transmission, a Cusco MZRS one-way limited slip differential and an Exity, oh, I haven't heard that name, twin plate clutch were added. Although the titanium exhaust is limited to the stock size, it is less restrictive than its factory counterpart. Since this is endurance racing, a 90-liter fuel cell is allowed, which replaces the factory spare and jack. So screw your spare tire, screw your jack. You're putting a fuel cell in there, right? 90 liters. The lack of a jack doesn't pose much of a problem as the Integra is fitted with an onboard air jack system. People are doing that these days, right? Air jacks, right? They have 4-post air jacks where you got 4 that you can individually control. So if you want to lift one part of the car, you could, or you can lift the whole damn thing. Some people put jacks on the rear, like just plain old jacks, and they'll cut a hole in their bumper and go through the side and take a drill and just scissor lift, right? They all sorts of ways, but built-in jack systems are a thing. Another interesting addition is the earthing system. What? At first, we thought it was some sort of backhoe attachment. But much like our theory on where babies came from, we were way off the mark. Earthing is one of those horribly misguided Japanese translations for a battery ground wire. Ground? Earth. The earthing system, or the grounding system, features special ground wires that offer a consistent electrical current, much like the shock treatment is receiving to help cull his Sharon Soto, whatever. We'll get into that, but here we go. Got some rays. K20. The K20A. What a badass engine. Suspension. Steering wheel. Do I see nitrous? The fuck is that? Could be fire extinguishers. Could be, right? It could be. Obviously, you got this fuel cell going on. Looks like it's air cooled and vented and all sorts of stuff going on. Like freaking science project. Bride seats, roll cage built in here, gutted. This thing is gutted. Yep. All right. Here we got that motion blur photo. Nice touch. Fast. The system is said to improve engine startup idle, throttle response, ECU operation, and gas mileage. I don't know if the grounding is doing all that. Like, yeah, it makes it more solid, but maybe. I don't know. I'm not an electrician. Maybe we should strap Ricky up to one. Footwork or chassis improvements are allowed in Class 4, and Signal started with a clean slate by stripping the shell and stitch welding all of the body seams for reduced weight and rigidity. A Mugen roll cage adds even more chassis firmness plus driver safety. Underneath, tying coilovers, Mugen bushings, and a Tanabe Systec stabilizer improve cornering prowess. Kasuke and crew felt the factory ITR 4-pot Brembos were up to the task of going fade-free for 300 miles of circuit abuse. And because of that, they only added endless race pads to the mix. Finally, Volk's new CE28N wheels were fitted with a set of Yokohama Advent and one spec slicks. Driver skill is another factor that takes effect on this even playing field. Signal has enlisted this guy and this guy to manhandle the car at the track. I ain't trying to spell all that. Both of these guys are Civic Intercup specialists and has driven Signal's N1 Civic for the last 5 years. I don't want to butcher these guys' names. And when pilot the Integra for long stints, they are rewarded with a Bride Zeta race bucket. Right? Yay, race buckets. Sebelt 5-point harnesses and a Victor steering wheel. A stat gauge cluster with a digital data recorder relays the vitals back to the driver. Right? So different setups with how you read out. I think that was a cool part, right? You just buy all these gauges and you're like, man, I want them light up green, red, blue. Like they had different color changing ones. They had ones that looked like out of an F1 car, right? They had a whole bunch of different stuff, and you just got crazy with how you wanted it done. Using your glove box door, using parts of your dash that were empty, making custom panels for your where your RPM gauge would go, things like that, right? So here's the team doing things. Teapots, right? They're acting like teapots. All of these guys are involved with the teapot move, right? This guy, he's embarrassed. Which one are you out of your crew? Take a screenshot right now, circle it, and say, this is me. Are you this guy? Are you the guy in the background? Are you this guy who makes silly puns? Is this guy the one that fails at everything? This guy just, he's the brains of everything, but he plays along. This guy fucks around a lot. This guy does his job, but he's like real laid back, right? He don't say shit. Look at that Supra in the background. Yeah. Which one are you, that crew, right? So fast facts. Who's the owner? Signal Auto. What does he have? A Honda Integra Type R out of Osaka, Japan. Daily grind. He's a Japanese tuner. Under the hood is a Signal N1 spec K28 engine and titanium exhaust. XD twin plate clutch, Cusco MZ RS one-way LSD, and an earthing system. It's not a grounding system, it's an earthing system. What is he running for suspension? Tyne N1 virgin coilovers, a Mugen front compliance and front lower arm bushing sets, and steering box cushion seat and Tanabe Systec stabilizer. He's rolling on some Volk Racing CE28N wheels, 17 by 8s, and Yokohama Advent N1 spec tires. Remember, those were the slicks. Water break. What is he running on the outside? A Rando Sport Air kit and a front and rear bumpers and side skirts. Signal carbon fiber hood. That's a painted carbon fiber hood. GT wing and GT mirrors and House of Color candy orange paint. And onboard air jack system. I think everybody should have an air jack system. It's just so much better. What are you going to sit on when you get inside the car? Bride Zeta seats or a seat. Sebelt, whatever. 5-point racing harness. Victor 3-spoke steering wheel. Mugen roll cage. 90-liter fuel cell and a Bosch fuel pump. Internal stat gauge cluster with digital data recorder, and yeah. The Super Taikyu League produces a 7-race N1 Enduro series. Taikyu means endurance, and these races are chock full of that. Some of these events are scheduled for 500 kilometers, 312.5 motherfucking miles. Endurance racing. You want to put your car and your parts to the test? You take your ass to the Super Taikyu N1 Enduro. You thinking what I'm thinking? Oh my God. Like, I just got the bug to go 312 miles and run the shit out of this Supra. With these 300-mile dashes, there are 5 individual classes running at the same time. Class 1 is for cars displacing more than 3,501 cc's, which includes such beasts as the Skyline GTR and NSX. Class 2 is for the all-wheel drive cars with less than 3,500 cc, and the Evo and WRX dominate this field. Class 3 is designated for two-wheel drives with less than 3,500 cc, and examples include the RX-7 and S15 Silvia. Drooling. Class 4 is reserved for the pocket rockets, cars with less than 2,000 cc's, which includes the Signal Kamikaze DC-5. Class 4 also features the DC-2 Integra, EK9 Civic, Altezza, Celica, and S2000. God, I love that class. I love all these classes. Like, the cars are just great. While tuning is limited in Class 4, the Group N Plus class features the same 2,000cc cars, but it's no holds barred when it comes to tuning. Oh. Send it, boys. Here are the remaining 4 events on the... Right, so, man. Gotta do one of those. So there it is, guys. Here we are. Here we are with the gold dust. Gold, right? Gold was a popular. Gold was like, I am tuned. If your car was this gold, it was tuned. Right? I remember this photo with this dude. Oh my God. That is so crazy. I read this article back in the day. Yep, these 5-spoke wheels, I love them. Absolutely love them. What do we have going on? No spoiler, real slick. Japanese version one piece. Engine McGuire's prototype, something Sparco, probably got Sparco seats. Importculture.com. Formula One. Yep. Well, obviously you got Sparkle seats and then a picture. No window tint at all because you got to see who is driving. Obviously there's some sort of body kit on here. It's clean. It screams JDM for sure. Let's get into it. Lights, cameras, action. Gold dust. Blah 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 blah. I don't like to read the entire articles. I like to see when they get into it because I don't want y'all listening to me read a bunch of shit. All right, Randy's racing dreams were put to an abrupt halt when he was cited for exhibition of speed. Who back in the day got caught for exhibition of speed, meaning taking off and hauling ass, right? You can get a ticket for that. Here in Texas, they did away with that, right? But at the street races in his 94 Acura Integra, that was one strike for him. Being played with an automatic transmission was strike 2. All right, so we had an automatic. Not willing to hit strike 3, Randy directed his attention away from racing and towards something that he wouldn't get him into trouble. He decided he would put all his effort into making a ride into an awesome show car. So what are the requirements for building a show car? Always updating my car to current standards. It's difficult to look at the Integra without being mesmerized by the final result of his hard work. Although the sun-baked gold pearl paint was borrowed from a 2000 Acura CL, it glistens as if it were custom mixed with Flavor Flav's teeth. We could tell Randy liked the CL a lot because he trashed the factory four-eyed headlights in favor of the California Type R front end using CL headlights. Well, there you have it. The CL headlights. Clean. Fuck yeah. Molded to the corners of the car is a VIS combat kit. Very sleek and smooth. Not what you'd expect from a kit with combat in the name. Yeah, they're right. Because combat kits were very aggressive with their stuff going on, right? It was a lot. But this one is a little different. Some people front by rolling into shows on black eyes or hubcaps with huge bubbly tires. But not Randy. He rolls with a set of gunmetal gray 18-inch Rojas wrapped in low-profile Toyos. The classic five-spoke design on the Formula 5 wheels leave the Brembo cross-drilled rotors well exposed for the audiences. Discontent with driving around on cut springs and blown shocks, Randy threw on a set of VIS version 2 coilovers with Tokiko shocks for full ride adjustment. All right. Okay. Being an automatic show car doesn't mean you need to be totally oblivious to driving fast. Oversized JE pistons and custom Crowd connecting rods bump displacement to 2.0 liters with an 11-to-5-1 ratio. Sparco steering wheel, gauge pod. All right, this thing's an automatic, right? What's wrong with an automatic? What is wrong with an automatic? Nothing. All right, so looks like we got some upgraded stuff going on. Sparkle seats, chrome, valve covers, compressor radio. Prototype engineering gave the non-VTEC head an aggressive port job and reassembled it using Crowler valve springs and retainers. Fuel delivery is enhanced with 310cc injectors, an R1 fuel pressure regulator, and a BBK fuel pump. So this guy did some mods to this engine, even though it's automatic, right? So he did some engine mods. The interior of Randy's car is clean enough to eat off of. There isn't one speck of dirt on the black carpet or one thread out of place on the Sparco Torino seats. So there's your Sparco Torinos, right? Hugging the crap out of you. Remember, Sparcos are wide. I like those. The fact that they're wide. They're not like super skinny where you know, if you're fat, you end up getting stuck in there. Resting just under the Sony CD player and equalizer is an Eclipse monitor where Randy watches Nookie Tyler via custom mounted VCD player. The doors are stuffed with kicker speakers, and the trunk houses a PP1 amp with enough wattage to knock Dan's ass back to your sister's house. Okay, so Randy isn't a psychotic freak like Gold Dust, or maybe he is, but that's far behind the point we're trying to make. His Integra does attract ridiculous amounts of attention, and that's the fact. If it didn't, you wouldn't be looking at pictures of it on these pages, and I would be a rich oil tycoon. So yeah. I did some engine mods, even though it's automatic. That's okay, guys. Right. Let's see. Definitely made it faster. We got a 94 Integra LS version. He's a student. He's running a B18B, right, which we talked about in previous. B18B motor stroked to 2.0 with 11-to-1 ratio. Compression ratio, Crowler cam, valve springs, retainers, connecting rods, and crankshaft. JE forged pistons, right? So he built this thing to be a lot tougher. Fuel pressure, and ported and polished head, ported intake manifold, Venom 310cc injectors, R1 fuel pressure regulator, engine air intake, which is still around, 64mm throttle body, DC sports ceramic header. DC headers were like the shit. Right, can't go wrong with DC headers on a Honda, the Integra or Civics. Sheepdog exhaust and Crane HI6 PS92 coils. Four-speed automatic. He's running VIS version 2 coilovers, Tokiko shocks, and DC Sports strut bar. He's rolling on 18 by 7 Roja Formula 5 wheels, 215 35 18s, with Toyo FZ4s. Brembo cross-drilled rotors, accent carbon pads. On the outside was a VIS Racing Sports California Type R front end with Acura CL headlights. Right, so those are the CL version of the Acura. And combat kit, shaved emblems and keyhole, molded door handles and side skirts. I didn't even know that. Molding your car to have smooth lines was like one of the cool things to do. Some big gold pearl paint from '01 Acura CL. So they took the paint scheme from that model of Acura CL, and gold and black graphics. Sparco Torino seats, Mugello steering wheel. I clearly saw Sparco on the steering wheel. Is Mugello part of Sparco? Maybe, I don't know. Engine gauges, Razzo carbon fiber pedals and shift knob, PPI power class 4800 amp, kicker resolution separates, 10-inch Solar Barracks, custom trunk enclosure with a VCD player and Sony head unit. There you go. He modded his car, and that's the way he built it. Acura CL headlights with the combat body kit. Crazy. All right. Who had the Accord? Who had one of these? A 1998 Accord. 1998 Accord. Let's see what this one was all about. Stock red and had minimal exterior enhancements. Unlike this Candy Apple Delight we have here today. It was a good feature car then. Let's see. The West Coast Spoilers Skyline Series body kit and fender flare treatment. Okay. So, West Coast Spoilers Skyline Series body kit. So, yeah, there's some Skyline lines on here, right? You can kind of see with the added flares here. Sure. The Mugen rear spoiler is a welcome modification to any vehicle, as is the carbon fiber hood from TC Spoilers. TC also provided the headlight eyelids, a slight bit of overkill in our eyes, but they fit well with the projector headlights that have been retrofitted with an HID 4-less Stage 2 HID system. Lastly, the car was dipped, actually it was resprayed, in a custom candy apple hue. Since entering shows was the main objective for Wayne, it was a must to get the Accord lowered to show standards. So yeah, a lot of the Skyline kits had that square, the two square openings right here. That's how you knew they had like a Skyline version kit. But yeah, there you go. This is what he did to the outside. These are popular wheels. Popular wheels. Ground control coilover sleeves and Tokiko 5-way adjustable alumina shock absorbers. Wayne also took the liberty of installing both front and rear adjustable camber kits from Sprint suspension in order to maximize the life of his Nitto NT 555 tires. Of course, those are Volk GTN wheels, gold dipped in a Volks dipped in a size 18. A set of Comptech sway bars and an AC Auto Technic front strut bar prevent chassis flex. AEM, which not only turns out choice engine products but also superb braking systems, sees plenty of action on Wayne's Accord in the form of a front big rotor upgrade. So AEM rotors. Endless is also in the brake mix with Vita Nuova. Street pads are used all around, bringing the car to description. The exterior tells one side of the story, but the interior is like finding your dad's stash at Playboy and Hustler Mags. You get the giggles like there's no tomorrow. They're completely surrounded by white and have, all right, so it's got a white interior. All right, it's got a white interior. Maybe we'll see that in a second. Yep, there it is. I couldn't do white. Nope, not with my style. Nope, 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 nope. Right, so white door dashes, white center console, white roof headliner pillars, you name it. This is white trunk, white Momo Fighter steering wheel, an AC Auto Technic shift knob, an e-brake handle, ignited ignition button, and switches galore from Nitrous Express. Hungry for electronics? Then Wayne can satisfy your appetite with a VAFC, a VAFC, and I can't say that right, and rev speed meter from Apexy. Not enough? Well, get ready, because there's also a full course meal of audio ecstasy complete with components from Alpine, the head unit, video screen, and subwoofer. So he got an Alpine kit with his speakers. Got room for dessert? Well, too bad there's nothing left unless you like downing auto meter gauges and neon lights, which Wayne has plenty of, right? So he lit the motherfucker up. And should we be so forgetful, there's Sparkle Torino race seats equipped with 4-point harnesses for safety. Strap yourself in, boys. All show and no go for most cars, yes. For Wayne's, no. He went for more than just color matched valve cover and polished parts. That's right. This car walks the walk and talks the talk with a throttle body, camshafts, cam gears from CL Type S. Hanging off the cylinder head is a Comptech 621 exhaust header, which leads out to an HKS dragger exhaust system. I think the HKS dragger was loud. When I heard one, it was loud. It was like, bro. Though that exhaust system was the one that I think annoyed everybody in the neighborhood. An HKS twin power ignition system boosts additional spark to the Nology spark plugs and wires, and it also serves as a safeguard for the 75-shot nitrous kit from Nitrous Express. For show points, there are the little things: Goretti oil and radiator caps, Earl steel braided radiator hoses, Hose Technique silicone vacuum hoses, and AC Auto Technic engine dress-up kit. So obviously you wanted your engine to look clean. Show off that engine. Paint your valve covers. Chrome out your exhaust and intake ports and everything. Like new hoses, steel braided lines, right? It looks professional. It's solid. It's good. Right, so here you go. Some fast photos. I like the steering wheel. It's like not much going on, but it's clean, right? Got the head unit, gauges in the center console, all white. I couldn't do white, man. I'd be in there with my socks driving. Ain't no shoes getting in that car. Looks like some different gauge pods or different gauge. What do you call those? The backs to them. Fast facts. Almost done here. Coming out of Los Angeles, California, 1998 Accord. He is also a student running a apple red engine cover, polished valve cover and intake manifold, engine cold air intake, Nology spark plug wires and plugs, HKS twin power ignition and dragger exhaust, Comptech header, CL Type S throttle body. Remember the CL? Cam gears and camshafts, Nitrous Express 75-shot nitrous kit with a Goretti oil and radiator caps, Earl steel braided radiator hoses, Hose Technique silicone vacuum hoses, and AC Auto Technique engine dress-up kit. Ground control coilovers, Tokiko 5-way adjustable aluminum shocks, and Sprint suspension front and rear camber kits. Comptech front and rear sways, and an AC Auto Technique front sway bar. Volk 18x8 Volk Racing GTN wheels, right? So if you like those wheels, that's what they are. The Volk Racing. They still sell the Volk Racing's style that you see, so they're out there. So Nitto 225 40Rs, 18, the 555 tires, AEM front big rotor upgrade, and endless Vita Nuova brake pads. On the outside, he's got this flat spoiler. This was a big deck spoiler. Like, this was massive. You could literally have a dinner for 5 on here. Um, West Coast spoiler, Skyline Series body kit and fender flares, Mugen rear spoiler, JDM door seals, TC speakers, eyelids, and carbon fiber hood. Um, yeah, I think the eyelids, they were like these little things that went on top of the headlight. They were like right there. Um, Sparkle Torino seats and seatbelt harnesses, full wide interior, Momo Fighter steering wheel. So if you like that steering wheel, it's a Momo Fighter. Can't go wrong with Momo. Uh, Momo makes like a ton. They sent it. That was their thing. So there you are. There you are. If you like that build, give it a thumbs up for sure. To each his own, right? This is a car that I wouldn't have modified, in my personal opinion, back in the day. But if you had it, you had your taste, and guess what? You were different because nobody else was doing this. I mean, some people were, but to go all out on a car that people wouldn't expect, boom! Now you're in a car show, and people are like, "Damn, somebody done took a damn Honda Accord and did all this." All right, it's freaking awesome. All right, so let's do this. All right, here we go. Here's that damn girl again. She's like in every episode, guys. What should we name her? Gotta give her a name. She's in the damn episode every time we do this damn thing. So, Import Revolution Houston. Let's see if we want to read that. There may not be a basement in the Alamo, but what? That was here in San Antonio, where I'm at. But for one weekend in March, there was a hell of a lot of hooked up rides in the Houston Astrodome. Oh, it was in Houston. Never mind. Houston got it. Here's a close look at Team Motorex, the crew that took the win at the first ever Super Street SR1 Team Challenge. Um, Motorex, wasn't that a company that was importing Skylines like illegally or something? They got shut down. A World Import Tuner, or well, World Import Challenge. Don't mess with Texas Indicate. Don't mess with that. No, I want to read something else that's interesting. That's why I got this magazine. Drift 101, Option Video D1 Grand Prix, Speed Trial Drift Day, Drift Duo. We utilize sign language to communicate with elite drifters. They use the middle often. Um, Drift Day, the state of drift. Want to know what drifting is like? We talked to both first timers and experts to learn where the sport is at today and who is responsible for those crappy Red Bull commercials. Drifting in Japan, Initial D. If you've never heard of Initial D, you've been living in a potato sack. Here's all you need to know about the coolest drift anime ever made. I'm going there. Idiot. This ain't Ren and Stimpy. This is Initial D. I love Initial D. Like, you've got to read Initial D series. Go from the very first episode. It's on YouTube. Um, watch them. Holy crap! They talk about cars in detail, and it is amazing. That's why I like this series. Like, it goes into freaking detail. You know, like the way, like, I'm not even gonna spoil it. If you love tuning and you love cars, this is the one. This is the one. Like, it is badass. You got, the storyline. You got this guy who delivers you know tofu and all this other stuff in the morning with his dad's uh Toyota AE86, right? But he travels through the mountain and he races, but the way he races and the way his dad talks about the car, like, it just nuts everybody, right? And you get different tuners with different cars that he races, and I'm not gonna spoil it, but if you haven't read it, you need to get on the ball. um So Steve Nakamura's hyper-fresh panda-colored Toyota AE86 sans the Fujiwara tofu delivery related kanji and hiragana Japanese script on the side of the car is already a drifter's dream, right? They drift in this series. So, but do you know the significance of the tofu text? We wonder what someone who hasn't seen or heard of Initial D thinks of Steve's ride. And if you haven't heard of Initial D, where the hell have you been, buddy? It's the only coolest anime since Astro Boy. Life is not fair. The Japanese have had Initial D since 1995, while all we get is Universal's The Fast and Furious, right? They are 100% correct. I wish we had the culture. We didn't. We adopted it. It came after Fast and Furious. Yes, there was a culture before then, but man, it was underground, right? Didn't see it. Initial D is the black and white manga comic. 3 years later, a 26 episode animated series, First Stage, right? So look up YouTube, Initial D First Stage, and you'll go through its series. Initial D managed to garner enough of a following to warrant a second season called Second Stage, an original video animation titled Extra Stage, and an even full-length motion picture, Initial D Third Stage, the movie. Fourth Stage won't appear for a while, but for now we have 2 seasons, an original video animation, and a movie to drool over. That's not even counting the 20-odd comics. Initial D takes place in the winding mountain passes of Japan, where drifting is as common as a warm bowl of miso soup. The Initial D road racers take winding tuges. I don't know how you say it. The way Super Street staffers down Red Bull and V8. One such racer is Tofu Delivery Boy, who drives his Toyota AA86, Takumi Fujiwara. His name is Takumi, right? So who learns that his driving skills are anything but ordinary. His transportation, a venerable black and white Toyota Torino with a certain conspicuous tofu shop graphic. It turns out that having driven the mountain passes of Akina since the 7th grade, delivering tofu for his father, 18-year-old Takumi drives like the Drift King. Once the challenge awakens his racing prodigy, there's no getting him back to sleep. Through the course of 2 seasons in the movie, Takumi and his underpowered but super driftable rear-wheel drive. Rear-wheel drive go on a battle every respectable ride in the land of the rising sun. Along the way, he and local drift team Akina Speedstars make friends and learn how to master the art of going sideways. And that's just the premise, the tip of the massive Initial D iceberg. It just goes deep off into deep in, right? So he battles all these guys at different clubs that come into town, and they're like, he can't beat me because I'm running a 400 horsepower S15 Sylvia with Gretty exhaust and blah 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 blah, right? And it goes into all that, right? And then he gets on there, and for some reason the skill of driving defeats just adding mods to the car, right? And you got guys that they couldn't beat that he beats, and it is just freaking fantastic. I absolutely love it. Massive fan of this. Initial D fans will be happy to know that they can blow a substantial wad of green and other related paraphernalia, including massive 200-plus page Initial D art book available in deluxe box set, car, or character models, CDs, and clothing. Aside from the actual series of miniature car models, our personal favorite is a slew of audio CDs from the Avex label. Most of the music is used during the race scenes in the various episodes. So, yeah, J-pop, Eurobeat type of tunes. So yeah, you gotta read this series. There's Takumi right there. There's his best friend. His best friend is awesome. Like, it's just freaking hilarious. It's funny. It's cool. Gotta look that up. Engine part buyer's guide, VVT systems, hybrid, all motor. All right, let's look at this and page 196. Engine parts buyer's guide. You put you put hours of labor's custom molding that one-of-a-kind body kit to the flanks of your car. You've threaded every needle for every stitch in the handstone steer. You mounted LCD screens, but what about engine parts? What do they want us to know? Auto Technique. Okay, what is going on here? Let me scroll up here. Race turbo water pump. This water pump is fully CNC machined from 6061 T6 billet aluminum for strength. The motor in this pump pulls only 3.5 amps of power while pumping 30 to 32 gallons per minute. This device can add approximately 7 to 10 horsepower throughout. Applications, Honda and Acura. All right, so they're advertising these as good parts. AEBS adjustable cam sprockets. AEBS cam sprockets are hard anodized from 6061 T6 billet aluminum, right? So you're seeing this thing here, 6061 billet aluminum. Chamfered edge and sprocket to reduce damage to the belt during installation, right? $145 each. Honda's Acura B Series H22s, which are in the Preludes. Good Lord, that just went stupid there. For focuses. AEBS sleeves. AEBS block sleeves are designed to strengthen open deck style motors by filling in the spaces in the block. These are made from centrifugal spun nodular ductile iron, available for turbo and normally aspirated motors. Honda B16, 18, 22. So a lot of these are Hondas. Ross Custom Racing Pistons are designed and manufactured to perform flawlessly under the heat and extreme pressure associated with turbocharged engines. These pistons are made with extra features such as annular pinhole grooves and double-forced oil holes to prevent pinhole galling, and a tapered top land to prevent scuffing. Hondas, Nissan, SR20 DETs, VG30, Mitsubishi's, 4G63s, $580. All right, the crank. The crank is made of solid billet aluminum. It is designed for hardcore racers, can be produced for all makes and models, and reduces high RPM harmonics. $2,000. Honda's, Ford Focuses, AEM cam gears, very popular. True time adjustable cam gears. AEM cam gears are CNC machined from 6061 T6 billet aluminum and guaranteed to match the OE2 profile. Laser etch markings and 10-degree increments provide the visual accuracy needed for precise tuning. There you go. 01 to 02 Honda Civics, 105. All right. There you go. Aero Speed pulleys. All right, the new Aero Speed underdrive pulleys are constructed from what? 6061 T6 aluminum. Reduces weight, and they are very strong. Wow, these are on a lot of specific years of Hondas. And the Mitsubishi Eclipse Turbo, $80, right? Cat cams. Cam shafts. These cam shafts are made for the ultra rare 20 valve 4AGE head and are made in Belgium by one of Europe's best racing cam engineers. So if you're a true Corolla enthusiast, don't pass up these cams. The Toyota Corolla AE86 1120V. Initial D, guys. Initial D. Crowler connecting rods made of high quality 4340 chromoly or 6ALV 4V titanium. These connecting rods are designed for superior strength and lightweight, so they're stronger and lighter. These connecting rods incorporate an I-beam, right? We got the I-beam style, which eliminates pockets of excess material while still delivering exceptional longitude and horizontal strength. All Asian imports, $11.95. Whoa. Whoa. All right. Crowler VTEC camcores. This new core features bigger secondary and primary lobes for unlimited spec and the ability to run outer lobes only by grinding away the middle lobe. $650. Honda B Series, the VTECs. What else we got here? Honda engine block. This block is cast from 355 T6 virgin ingot, not remelt like most aluminum castings. And this material is 4 times stronger than the stock block material. The block will accept all of the stock hardware and has a closed deck design for better head gasket retention and block rigidity. Bores are available at 81.5 or 84.5 millimeters. Applications: any application that can accept a B18 or a B20 block. $2,100 for the block. All right. Solid deck sleeve kit. Darton sleeves can be purchased in bore sizes up to 88 millimeters. They are also known for toughness and durability and are used in all types of engines, including aircraft, IndyCar, Top Fuel, and Pro Mods. Applications are 2002 Honda K20s, the B16, B18, FH, and K Series Honda blocks. I like it. Man, I like this Integra right here. Don't call it an RSX. I'll punch you in the face. It's an Integra. All right, so I like this. This is kind of cool. It gives you some ideas of when you want to build, of what you want to build and how you want to build it with what you want to build it with. All right, you read these articles. So if you're reading Super Street of June of 2002, you got all this, right? Gritty metal head gasket. These special metal reinforced head gaskets are designed to withstand the excessive temperature and cylinder pressure of a ultra high output engine. Choices vary from factory thickness to stock compression to thicker gaskets to reduce compression. Toyota 4AG, 7MG, Nissan's DETT, Honda B16A, B18C, B18B. The D16 H22A is $150 to $300. God dang, for a head gasket. Even back then, I would have been like, God damn. Gritty. G-Rex forged piston. I remember G-Rex. Forged pistons are made from low silicon type aluminum to reduce high heat expansion and to withstand high RPM and high cylinder pressure. This kit includes pistons, rings, and floating pins. All right, there you go. 2JZ GET, the Supra Twin Turbo, the Nissan SR20. These are like GTR stuff. Toyotas and GTRs. The pulley kits. Aluminum, billet aluminum, anodized blue, reciprocating mass and slow down accessories. They also decrease engine drag while increasing engine appearance. Right? RX-7s, Supras. Racing cam, designed to pull hard at the top end. This cam has an intake lift of 0.388 with a duration of 228 and an exhaust lift of 0.407 with a duration of 220. Applications: 96 to 2000 Honda Civics, Del Sol, DX, or LX. Right, so there you go. There's your cam. Racing head. Ported and polished from the factory with a racing valve grind. This head is capable of adding 18 to 20 horsepower to your motor. Racing package. God damn. This packaging produces an increase of between 45 and 55 horsepower while still providing stock reliability and drivability. These systems need no aftermarket cam gears or springs. This kit includes a ported and polished high compression cylinder head like this, right? It's probably the same one. A racing valve grind, a ported intake manifold to match, right? So they just included all this, right? They just added a throttle body is what it looks like. Intake manifold to match ECU and cams of your choice. Race headers are available at additional costs, right? So $1,650, you could have a nice little tuned engine. HKS slide cam gears. I love this color scheme. I don't know what it is, but I like it. These cam gears can be used with either OEM or HKS camshafts. HKS cam gears are constructed of anodized precision machined aluminum plates and incorporate laser etched indexes at 2-degree intervals. All right, a lot of your imports, your Integras, Hondas, these are the ones that had the B16, B18s, and H22s. I mean, they were all up in there with these. But remember, these didn't work unless you had the HKS cams. JE pistons, can't go wrong with those. These pistons can be purchased in higher or lower compression. than stock and are made from high silicone 2618 aircraft oil alloy, which allows for much tighter piston to wall clearances than OEM, right? So they get real tight up in the walls and stuff. So all Asian imports, 1425. There's a lot of information here. Adjustable cam gears, constructed from what? Billet aluminum. Skunk 2 racing adjustable cam gears are CNC machined to precise tolerances with more than 24 degree of adjustment and laser edge timing marks. Available in red, blue, and silver. Racing valves, CNC machined, meant for high RPM. Skunk 2 stage 1 camshafts. They're not billet. Instead, they're chilled casting like OEM Honda camshafts. The stage 1 camshafts are street and carb legal and compatible with stock valve train components and will not affect emissions. So it looks like this is just a replacement. 712 for it. Spoon Sports, man, they have gears like crazy. I'm wondering if this was the thing, because I know a lot of people when they show their engine, they took the cam gear covers off and they would show the colors and be like, yeah, I tuned it, right? All right. I've got one question. How long do these freaking thing go for? All right, this is the last page. Then we got the variable valve timing. Spoon Sports balanced JDM Type R pistons. Direct from the Spoon Sports factory, these JDM Type R pistons feature a slightly higher dome than US spec Type R pistons for more compression. Comes as a complete set of 4 with wrist pins and piston rings. So 360 for some pistons. Pretty cool. Camshafts. Total Racing camshafts, Total Racing stroker kit. Tota's B16A stroker kit increases engine displacement from the stock 1.6 liters to 1.8. Fully balanced and blueprinted with forged Tota pistons, ring piston pins, and all bearings. $2,400 fucking dollars. High compression piston kit. Okay. The top edge of these pistons uses a castellation design to reduce sticking and improve lubrication and sealing. The design also acts as a scuff band to reduce run-in time. The pistons featured improved oil drainage and redesigned oil channels. All right, smoother oil flow, get in, get out. Typical Honda engines. Unorthodox racing pulleys. Ultra S lightened underdrive crank pulleys for all Acura Honda B16 B18s. These Ultra S aluminum crank pulleys are CNC machined from a premium 6061 T6 billet aluminum and have shown an 8 to 12 horsepower gain on B series engines. A lot of people didn't get their cars tuned. They would throw on all these extra stuff, right? And based on the ad, they would add up all their horsepower and be like, yeah, I'm actually running 350 based on all the mods that I did. All right, so there you go, guys. There you go. All right, we're nearing an hour and a half, so we're gonna wrap this up. Variable valve timing. What is it and who needs it? All right, so let's dive into this. VTEC, the engineering feature that has been around for more than a decade and has crossed over from the race-bred NSX to the bread-and-butter Civic. Do you know exactly what it is, how it works, or what makes it different from the new iVTEC? What about the other V-word systems, such as Toyota's VVTi, Nissan's CVTC, or Mitsubishi's MIVEC? All right, so all of these letter scrambles are part of the wonderful world of variable valve train systems. an awesome technology that is crossing over from high-performance cars to the more mainstream sedans and even shudder SUVs. We'll explain what these systems are and how they work so you can toss the terminology around, know exactly what it means, and impress silicone-enhanced females and their curious girlfriends. After all, that's what it's about, right? All right. VVT, Valve Train Basics. Designing a camshaft to properly time valve operation is a delicate act. The engines in our cars operate at anywhere from around 800 RPM at idle to, well, you name it, to the top end. Even at a relatively moderate 3000 RPM, the valves are opening and closing 24 times per second. That doesn't allow a lot of time for air to flow in and out of the cylinders. The characteristics of a high-performance engine compound the problem. So it operates at higher engine speeds than a normal engine does, so the valve train's opening and closing events are happening even more quickly. Yet at the same time, the performance engine requires more air and fuel to create more power. So what they're basically saying is the valves going up and down, letting air, fuel mixture and all that stuff, the basic operation of the valve is not up to spec with everything else that you upgrade your motor to. So the typical high performance camshaft has low profiles that provide more valve lift, allowing a greater volume of air to pass through the port. The lobe profiles also open the valves for a longer period called duration, giving the air more time to pass into or out of the chamber. But that high lift, long duration cam won't work in a normal engine. It would hold the valves open too long for low and normal operating speeds. On the intake side, for example, if the valve stayed open too far into the compression stroke, the piston would fresh air and fuel back out. The piston would push fresh air and fuel back out the intake port. Or if the exhaust valve stayed open into the start of the intake stroke, waste gases could be pulled back into the cylinder and dilute the fresh charge. At racing speeds, that sort of valve timing and overlap works to efficiently move air through the cylinders. But have you ever noticed that racing engines don't idle worth a damn? Neither have we. That's cam timing, folks. Conversely, the relatively low valve lift and short duration that works so well in a normal engine would strangle the high-powered motor. Maybe not at idle or initial throttle tip-in, but certainly at high revs where it needs to work. And there's the limitation of the traditional cam and valve setup. Cam timing, since it's governed by the shape of the cam lobes and the position of the cam relative to crankshaft rotation, is fixed. The cam works most efficiently at one engine speed. You can vary the timing of the events by advance or retarding the camshaft, which will improve bottom or top end power, depending on which way you move the cam. But you can't have it both ways. Getting power and performance at low and high revs is possible or impossible unless you could somehow vary the cam's timing and lift based on engine speed. Introducing the VTEC. So VTEC is Acura's Honda speak for variable valve timing and lift electronic control. VVTA-LEC just isn't normal enough, is it? First introduced aboard the groundbreaking NSX in 91, VTEC is now available across the Acura Honda product line. So there you go, 91 NSX VTEC. The heart of the VTEC system is the design of the camshaft, with 3 lobes for each pair of intake and exhaust valves, plus the corresponding rocker arms that actuate the valves. At low to mid-range engine speeds, the valves are opened and closed by the rocker arms, following the 2 outboard lobes. These outboard lobes have been ground to provide relatively low lift and short duration. Once a certain engine speed threshold is crossed, varying from around 6,000 RPM in the NSX, RSX, and S2K to 5,600 RPM in the Prelude, the VTEC computer sends a signal to a valve that uses engine oil to pressurize small pistons in the rocker arms. This locks the two outer or outboard rocker arms to the center arm, which is aligned with a higher lift. Longer duration cam lobe. So here's the illustration. All right, VTEC. This is in the RSX. I'm sorry, Integra. I just had to say that. All right, so here's a look inside the 2.0 liter engine found in the O2 Integra. Acura offers two versions of this motor, and this is the cool one. The 200 horsepower Type S engine with an NSX-like VTEC upgraded with the new variable, the VTC system, VTEC. Acura and Honda call the intelligent VTEC or iVTEC. So here it is right here. There's your VTEC system. Right? There you go. You learned something. There's your VTEC system. Here's iVTEC from the Integra Type S, up close and personal. Note how each pair of valves has 3 cam lobes. Each valve has 3 cam lobes. 1, 2, 3. Uno, dos, tres. And 3 rocker arms. Rocker arms. Cam lobes, rocker arms. Okay, all right. We're learning some. At low and mid-range engine speeds, the rockers follow the 2 outboard lobes, which have been ground with moderate lift and duration for good combustion chamber fill under normal driving conditions. At around 6,000 RPM, the center rocker takes over, following the much more aggressive center lobe and helping the engine reach its 200 peak at 74. So it's designed to open it up. A can of whoop ass. While the Type S Integra is featured here, the standard Integra motor is fitted with a new form of VTEC that affects the intake valve timing only. Right? Da, 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 da. So yeah. That's it, guys. Let's see. Toyota added a variable lift component to its VVTi system called it variable valve timing and lift with intelligence, and is using it in the 180 horse Celica GTS. In this illustration, you can see both the VVTi controller in light orange at the end of the intake cam and the dual lobes for each pair of intake valves. Okay. So dual lobes for each intake valve, right? This is the system right here. That's the component. So on top of your valves, valve springs, retainers, and all that good stuff, bam, there you have it. So VVTi, if you look at your engine and you don't know whether it's VVTi, you're going to see this right here. All right. On the Toyota VVTis, there it is. Non-VVTis, you have 2 identical cams. Here's a actual photo of it, right? That's what you see. The VVTi is just like VTEC. It's just designed different. It's 2 different designs. All right. Changeable timing. Okay, so it kind of goes over what this is. We've tossed out a lot of words trying to describe what the variable valve timing systems do. How about a graph to illustrate the point? This diagram from Toyota shows the difference in valve lift and duration between the 2 intake lobes in the VVTL system. You can also see where the cam phasing controller changes the timing of the intake valve's actions. idling to medium speed right here. At a higher speed, look at the lift difference, right? All right, so you have changeable lift here, right? From here to here, exhaust, right? You have the exhaust lift, the two reds, and you have the intake lifts, the two blue. And then you have your VTEC right here. This illustration of the VVTi controller shows how the vane portion in orange, which is fixed to the intake camshaft, right, on the end for your VVTIs, rotates inside a housing, which is fixed to the intake shaft, rotates housing in white, which is fixed to the cam gear. Pressurized oil is used to move the vane back and forth to retard or advance the cam intake's cam phasing. This close-up diagram of the VVTLI better shows the dual lobe and rocker setup at each pair of intake valves. The theory behind this system is similar to the Honda's VTEC, but Toyota has simplified it somewhat by cutting down on the number of lobes and rocker arms per valve. So this one's dual instead of a triple. VTEC has triple lobes. This one has dual. Right? So there it is, right? It's the height of the lift, which explains it right here. These are your lobes. These are your lobes right here. Basic, basic. Nissan's CVTC. So they have all different versions of this. So yeah, there's a little bit about what am I doing here? Your VTEC systems. All right. So first look at a 03 Tiburon, nitrous express install, auto meter gauge install. So it has some technicals in there on how to do it. Like we've seen like how to, but I'm not going to go into that. So that's kind of cool. They have some, how-tos in these magazines. They kind of did everything in there. Like there was something in there for everybody. You learn something by these. So if you subscribe to these, good on you, right? And if you don't have them, good on you. They got some good information on it, basic information, which is widely available on the internet. I mean, you can just go ask ChatGPT and it'll tell you how to build a freaking engine. So yeah, this one is a pretty cool build with this episode. I like it. These were the ones we went over. If you like them, yeah, I like the Top Secret Supra. It's different because you don't have the 2J in it, but hey, it works. I'm not mad because it came out of a power horse of a vehicle, the GTR. And we didn't go over this. What the hell? How did we miss this? The S2K. This guy worked at Bodyworks in Skokie, Illinois. He had an S2000. The first thing you know about it is a beautiful paint job. The crash carcass was repaired, about $17,000 worth of bodywork. God dang. So he crashed this thing and redid it. $17K in bodywork. Good God. All right. What else do we got? Respraying the car to its original stock red was not an option. It needed to pop. A layer of white was laid down and then sprayed with a combination of yellow, gold, pearl, and yellow candy paint. Awesome. Adding more style is a bountiful helping of Mugen, Comtech, and our Honda original equipment body pieces. So Mugen and Honda got involved in this one. Simple gauge right here in the center console. While most S2K owners are happy with the stock wheel and tire package, any true automotive enthusiast will be more than happy to upgrade to a fresh set of rollers. what? Racing Heart M5 wheels. Racing Hearts, right? Those were on the Supra and the Fast and Furious. 19 by 8s in the front, 19 by 9s in the rear. We put in place to give the car its aggressive stance. Yokohama tires were added to this. And let's see. Comptech supercharger along with a Comptech cold air intake, a Mugen header, and a NOS setup. There's quite a bit of added horsepower on tap. An HKS exhaust system releases spent gases into the atmosphere while power and transfer to the ground via a Clutch Master Stage 5 clutch, an RM racing engine dress-up kit, and Tenzo R fluid reservoir covers at show points, right? Because got to dress your engine up. He put... Yeah, there's your nitrous, custom trunk. Racing hard wheels, gauge, interior. Comptech supercharge. S2K. Look at this guy. Man, that hairline is amazing. Yeah, boy. Comptech coilover kit and threw in a strut tower brace and lower tie bars for good measure. His S2K wobbles no more. Oh, let's see. With all performance needs, Larry looked into well-deserved in-car entertainment. Got a Alpine headed unit and CD changer. Leather-wrapped Momo steering wheel was added. The seat, center console, and door panels were custom wrapped in leather to match Apexy gauges and a custom A-pillar pod. Let's see, Apexy, VAFC, and additional gauges, right? We've seen that in plenty of our builds. It's all topped off with diamond plate aluminum floor mats. That was a thing back then. I don't know why. They just were. Let's see. The fact that the car was once wrecked and all these modifications were made in only 3 weeks, holy crap, just in time for Hot Import Night in Chicago, makes things only more impressive. Larry, however, is not yet satisfied. He has already drawn up a new plan for 2002, and it includes more power as well as goodies from Veilside, Kaz, Airwalker, and Brembo. As Larry stated with a serious face, I will not stop until this car becomes the fastest daily driven S2K in the country. Right? Here's our fast facts. 2000 S2 Honda. I need to quit this episode. 2000 Honda S2000. Under the hood is a Comptech supercharger, Paxton Novi 1000, cold air intake, fuel regulator, and fuel pump, Mugen stainless steel header, HKS aftercat exhaust, ProFlow throttle body, NOS dry fogger system, auto bottle opener, and warmer purge valve. Clutch Master Stage 5 clutch, RM racing engine dress-up kit, and Tenzo R fluid reservoir covers. Comptech coilovers, front strut lower tower brace, and lower tie bars. Got some Racing Hard M5 wheels, 19 by 8s and 19 by 9s in the rear. Yokohama AVS sport tires, 215, 25 19s and 35 35, 235 and 35 19 rears. Goodrich stainless steel brake lines, right? Always cool. Mugen rear bumper and spoiler. Comptech side skirts. Honda optional equipment front lip spoiler. So that came from the additional Honda option from the dealer. Shaved emblems and rear lock hole. Flared fenders and quarter panels. Momo steering wheel. Custom wrap factory seats, center console, and door panels. Custom A-pillar pod with Apexy boost and EGT gauges. Apexy VAFC controller. DC sports shift knob. Auto meter nitrous pressure, amp voltage, and engine tip gauges. And custom diamond plated floor mats, which is weird. I don't get that. So weird, right? But it is what it is. So Racing Heart wheels, custom gauge, yellow interior a little bit with the amp. That's weird. Looks good. It's an S2000. I like it. All right, guys, that was it. I'm gonna end this episode right here. Hope you guys enjoyed it. There was a couple of builds in here. A lot of times I go over some of the side stuff that's in here, like the gaming feature. Like they put in like the top games. They had that going for a good minute. You can get into all those things, but these magazines, they had people's builds that you can go over. I mean, I like them. They're quick. Quick builds like Integris gives you a little brief synopsis of what this is. But my favorite part of this one was the enduro racing in Japan. Like that would be cool as hell. That would be cool as hell to just tune it and just run your car and use these parts that you purchase, not just for show, but to throw down and kick ass. All right, I'll see you on the next one.